welcome to Seagulls Social. This is the Crystal Palace match reaction. This is Maz, this is Ben, and this is Jack. How are we, Jack?
Miserable.
Well, he's just
good.
He's just been encouraging, to be fair.
Hey. Yeah. I wanna clarify something before we start the pod. Somebody's called me out on it. Called Nick, who goes to Brighton Games. Nick Davey. He said that Ross McCormack was not the last Leeds goal scorer at the Amex. In fact, it was Luciano Becchio a year later. So just so we're clarified of that, make sure there's no confusion.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks for clearing that up, mate. Yeah, cheers, mate. Really good, useful information, that, and really relevant
One of
to
the
this
biggest
podcast as well. So, yeah,
on our calendar,
smash it.
and we've opened with Leeds United stats.
Yeah, because Leeds are massive. You need to do Leeds, aren't you?
And they else as well. Unlucky. Right, boys. First of all, Ben, how's your weekend been, mate?
Wholesome. Went for some. Well, obviously went to the pub to watch the game, sank a few Guinness, and then my flu jab has hit me like a ton of bricks, and now I'm ill once again. I have the immune system of a 90-year-old woman, or man.
Yeah.
Or man.
Well,
Just usually women last long. Usually women last longer in life than men. So usually, if you're 90 years old, you're a woman. But anyway, that was my process.
And also, shout out our non-binary and transgender 90-year-old friends as well. Just make that clear.
Yeah.
And then Brighton drew 0-0 to Crystal. Brighton drew 0-0 to Crystal Palace. But you know what? If you asked me before the game, Maz, I would have been happy with that. And I know we were talking off air. I heard you guys talking off air. I actually thought, as 0-0s go, it was a decent watch for a 0-0. It wasn't a boring 0-0, I would say.
Yeah, it had some moments. And before we get cancelled, Jack, how was your weekend?
Yeah, no, good. I went to music festival on Friday. Had a good time at that. Shout out, who did I see? Band called Ditz. Good band, DITZ. They were fun. And I watched Whitehawk lose. So that was good.
What performed at the festival?
No, they played football and lost 1-0. Shout out Averley, defensively resolute. Grant Hall at the back had a good game. And then went to Selhurst. Yeah, no, I went to Selhurst. Yeah. Went to Selhurst today and saw a 0-0 draw. I come away quite happy with the point. I think it's a good point actually, like if you look at it. I think when was the last time Palace lost at their place? Like
Everton, February.
February. Yeah, February. So I think we've done quite well to get a point there. Could we have done a bit better and got all three? Yeah, I think we had chances and we played well. I think they had chances as well, but overall a good point. I think there were some good performances on the team, and it's really good to keep 2 clean sheets in a row because, as someone pointed out, like I did do that outrageous claim that I wouldn't shave my beard until we kept 2 clean sheets in a row, and we've done that. So some more outrageous claims maybe need to get on with. Yeah. I'm not going to shave it all off. I'm just going to trim it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, fairs. But no, Jack,
me without
with you. Cool.
I was going to say, me without a beard is like forbidden image. But it's no. Thank you for agreeing with me.
I could see your head just being like an egg without any facial hair, which is quite a scary sight. But no, I do wholeheartedly agree. I think it's a great point in the end. Yeah, good entertainment. Great point on the road, like you said. I think our last win was 2019 when Knockout scored, and then like you said, they haven't lost it since Everton in February. So yeah, a really tough place to go. And let's start off with a big team news from their side. Obviously, they lost Mark Gahey, and then Canvo came in, who actually, fair play to him, he actually had a decent game. In all fairness to him, and then from our end, we pretty much were unchanged. Well, we were unchanged aside from Tommy Watson not being available, which again, another mystery illness or injury. We don't know which, like we love to have before a game. So no Tommy Watson. But in terms of starting lineups, Ben, we'll start with you. You're happy with the lineup that Hurzel went with? Would you have made any changes in hindsight?
No, I was happy with that, to be fair. I mean, obviously Veltman was introduced, but I think it was a smart idea starting Weaver. No, I didn't have any issues with it. Maybe the bench, it just looked lacking. Full stop.
Yeah,
it was just
that's how I saw it. Attacking options
any effect
scarce,
off the bench. It was scarce. I mean, during the game, I thought, well, I think it was just before Rutter came off, I messaged my group chat being like, I'd like to replace Babis with Minter. I feel like he let us down in a couple of opportunities. His crossing was woeful. Kept hitting the first man the majority of the time. So I thought Babis for him would make a good swap, because Mitchell had Minter on toast. Mitchell was phenomenal for Palace down that left-hand side. The left-hand side for them anyway. I thought he was incredible. So Minter wasn't having any luck against it. I thought Babis might offer something a little bit different. And then Rutter gets taken off, which was quite surprising for me. I mean, he didn't really have too much of a good game. And obviously the dive was very, very embarrassing. But no impact off the bench, unfortunately, for either Simas or Babis. People could argue that Simas maybe came on too late. I don't know about you, Jack. Do you reckon Simas should have come on a bit? Well, do you reckon Babis and Simas should have come on earlier?
Yeah, I think he could have done with being a little bit earlier onto the pitch. Bit disappointing that we left it so late. I think Herzler can sometimes have moments of genius with substitutions, but other times you can leave it a little bit too long. I do think I was pretty happy with the lineup, as we were saying before. Like, I didn't think anybody really needed to change. I think Diego Gomez did very much at left wing, but if I had to choose, I'd probably want a more natural left winger. But he's growing into that role, which I'm sure we'll get onto, because I thought he had a top performance today. I think the bench options, I don't really know what more we could have done with what we've got. Joe Knight and Namina, Oriola on the bench. And I think it's disappointing that after having such a stacked squad in pre-season that we're back to this point again. Season upon season, like the mysterious injuries that just permanently happen. So a little bit disappointed with that, but I wouldn't have changed anything. I think he got it right from that sense.
My only sort of qualm was the strength of the bench, but again, he can't really control that. If we've got a lot of players injured, it is really out of Herzler's control, and he can only sort of do with what he's got. And also, you mentioned Oriola, Jack. It's like, you can't bring him on in a game of that magnitude. I mean, you could. You never know. He might make an impact. But again, it's a bit of a risky move to bring him on, considering what he got like a minute against Leeds. So it's a tough position to be in, especially when you haven't got the squad there. But just quickly, I want to talk about and Ben, you just mentioned it. Interestingly, because before the game, we spoke about Munoz, didn't we, and how important he could potentially be on that right hand side. But Ben, how good was Kadioglu? Like, he absolutely locked Munoz up. He had a fantastic game. He was at one point, he was at right wing. He then went into like sort of just drifting into the midfield. Like, he's just everywhere, and he's got an absolute engine on him. He's a fantastic defender. He's decent going forward. He is just becoming now a very consistent performer at left back, isn't he?
Yeah, he's becoming one of the main names on our team sheet now. Kuiper's obviously going to be fuming because we've signed him as our new left back, but Ferdy's keeping him out of the team at the moment. And I wouldn't change it, because Ferdy was fantastic once again. I think his passing was incredible. His decision making was very, very good. Finally, it's looking like that signing's paying off now, because I did have quite a few question marks around him, but I now understand the signing of Ferdy Kadioglu. What that means for Maxime de Kuiper, I don't know. Because obviously some Brighton fans online still would like to see Ferdy a right back and de Kuiper left back. We have this conversation every time. Ferdy does not play a right back. He is a left back, and always has been and always will be now. And I'm finally on board with that. And I'm happy for him to be playing left back for us, because he's been great. And offers quite a lot down that left, both attacking and defensively. So very happy with him once again. At Selhurst Park as well, to control the game. Well, I say control the game, but played with confidence like he did do. It was very impressive for him. But I'm guessing he's used to quite toxic atmospheres or hostile atmospheres playing in Turkey.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Galatasaray.
I'm sure he's had much worse than Selhurst Park.
Playing for Fenerbahce is...
I just wanted to ask you, Jack,
more of a melting pot.
That partnership with Gomez and now Kadioglu, with Matoma looking like he's inching towards not full fitness, but back to fitness quite soon. It's going to be interesting, because I thought both Gomez and Kadioglu actually done really, really well on that left-hand side. Like I said, stifled Munoz, didn't really give him much, to be honest. Obviously, there was a few moments where maybe like Sarr had a few, Sarr and Kamada both had chances. But Gomez and Kadioglu are starting to form a bit of a partnership now. Do you feel like it's fair to potentially drop Gomez when Matoma is fit now? And obviously, de Kuiper, like Ben said, he's now been sort of pushed out of the team.
I would like to see him in his more natural. I would like to see a more natural left winger playing at left wing. But look, Gomez is doing a fantastic job at the moment. I mean, moving on from Ferdi Kadioglu, who I also happen to think was fantastic as well. Like, I think he's really proving why he's our record signing now. I think everybody's a bit confused. Oh no, what other than Rutter? Yeah, but yeah, second, we paid over 30 million for Ferdi, so and he is starting to prove that reasoning. But I thought Gomez was really, really good. He's almost Pascal Gross-esque when he's out on the wing, sort of like a like a left midfielder, sort of. And he works like so hard. His work rate is so good. And I thought he was up and down that wing. He was taking people on. He was, he was just sort of, he was keeping it flowing down that left-hand side. And I think it works really well with Ferdi flying past him because he's got, like you say, he's got a serious engine on him, Ferdi. So yeah, no, I think it was a fantastic little combo down that left-hand side. And I think that's where all of our most dangerous plays came from, really, down that left-hand side. As much as I like Minter, the guy in our comments every week without fail, he will leave a comment saying that we don't like Minter under Seagulls Social. Yeah, this guy
probably not going to help now because I just said he should have been subbed.
Yeah, and like I don't know why this guy seems to think that we don't like Minter because I'm a big fan of Yankuba Minter, but I thought he was really not up to it this week. Like I thought he just had a really poor game. I think not so much that he had a poor game. I think he was just locked up by Tyrick Mitchell and
Cab. When he did have his chances though, Jackie just was poor like that. The final chance in the first half.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Diego lays it off on a plate to him, and that was atrocious.
Very
not even to get it on target.
That chance was really frustrating because Diego makes a great run forward, and that sort of shows how good he was during that game. And he made a great run forward, and he's got two better shooters, I'd say, better players who are better at shooting. It's the right thing to do to lay it off to Minter or Welbeck. And it's disappointing when Minter's not done very well, but it's also slightly disappointing that Gomez didn't have the confidence to take the shot himself. I think this is something that just maybe comes from our midfielders a little bit. I don't know whether it's down to coaching, but we just need a little bit more confidence to try something like that. Because against Barnsley, he had the confidence to try some absolutely outrageous stuff.
I'm pretty sure was that the chance where he got poked in the eye and that's why he laid it off? I'm pretty sure that was the chance, wasn't it?
Oh, maybe.
It looked like he was going to try and lay it off anyway, I think. But yeah, that was when he got...
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure... Yeah. So I think that was the reason why he didn't shoot. Well, that's what Upson thought on comms anyway. He thought that because he basically got poked in the eye, he didn't have like full vision to have a shot. I don't know if that's true or not. Obviously, we don't...
Yeah.
We'll go through...
I just can't believe Jefferson Lerma... Jefferson Lerma lives rent-free in my head, and it's the year 2025. He has been always a player that winds me up so much. He's such a dirty player. He's one of them players that we say... You love him on your team, you hate playing against him, but because he just loves dirty
the throw-ins and
winding up the opposition.
The throw-ins were actually doing my head in. I was just like, why? Like,
right,
it's a good tactic. I get it, but it was doing my head in. Go on, Jack. What are you going to say?
No, I've got a big rant about long throws, just in general in football now. This isn't a Brighton thing because we tried it today. Palace tried it today. Everybody needs to stop doing it. It's actually just like no one's really... All that Palace's long throws resulted in was a foul to us, and it was exactly the same the opposite way.
We defended it really well, to be fair, every time.
Yeah, and just because Brentford do it and it's really successful doesn't mean everyone has to do it. Yeah, they did score again for it, but they've got Coyote who can basically, who can throw a kettle over a pub. Like, he could, like...
Bit of a weird analogy.
It is a bit of a weird analogy. It's actually a reference to The Office. So, I forgot I do this podcast with Philistines, don't I?
Wow. I got your back reference, mate.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Maz. It's just...
I've seen the UK Office, but yeah, that one obviously...
But anyway...
went over my head like a kettle over a pub.
Yeah. But my point is that I just don't think that all these teams need long throws. And it's obviously the in thing at the moment, isn't it? Long throws. And I don't get it. Because I didn't think they're effective for either team today.
Do you know what as well? Like what it was doing for me anyway. He was very much breaking up the what's it called? The pace of play. Because obviously each time it'll take him 10 seconds to clean. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Tempo. It was affecting the tempo of the game because it'd take him 10 seconds to clean the ball, then to throw it. Then, like Jack said, we'd either we'd win a foul or we'd clear it. And it just sort of just affected, I don't know, it did affect it, but fair play. If you want to go down that route and it's, you know, it's an avenue, like you said, it works for Brentford and for Coyote, but we done very well to defend it, but it was just doing my head in. Every time I saw it just go for a throw, I was like, oh, here we go. Lerma's going to come and just absolutely launch it. But yeah, it was very frustrating, that element of the game, but thankfully it didn't pay off for them. And then I also want to talk about Georginio, because he split opinions today. A few people saying they liked him, thought he was quite lively, looked on it. But then there's a few people saying they don't understand what he brought to the game today. And obviously his dive, which I think we can all agree was not good. It wasn't his finest moment. I'll be honest, in real time, I was like, penalty. I was screaming for it. I was like, oh my God, that's definitely a penalty. And then, you see the replays, and he's tried to buy that. But Jack, let's start with you on Georgie. What do you think of his performance today? And also, let's look at like previous games as well, not just today, but what do you think of his season so far?
Well, on the dive, I will just say I don't care if he dives. If he dives and won us a penalty, I couldn't give a shit with one. So that's just my general take on diving and cheating in football.
But VAR though, Jack, what's the point?
Yeah, VAR.
Can you win a penalty by diving now?
Well, I don't know. Or you can be a bit cheeky with it. I don't know. But my point being is that I beg, cheat and steal or whatever it is. Just like, don't care.
Is that for purpose as well?
No, I think that's just me. That's
from Jack's office.
Yeah, from the unnamed company that I work for, who do that a lot. I think it's like, I think Georgie had a weird performance today. I actually thought he was growing into the game a bit. He was starting to make little runs in behind. I thought he made a really good run before he dived, basically, and like, I think that just like shot his confidence. Like, he was starting to grow into it, get a little bit of confidence, and then he loses confidence because he did a stupid dive, didn't win the penalty. I think if he does win that penalty, and at the end of the day, if Wharton doesn't pull his leg out of the way, which was very clever by him, like to go in for the tackle and then move his leg away to make the player dive, essentially means that, like, if he wins that penalty, we're going on about how good he was, how influential in the game he was. So I think, like, in general, his performances, I thought he's really good against Leeds, and he's been good against Newcastle. So I'm not quite on this. I'm not quite on the train of, he's been rubbish this season. I think he's had a quieter season, but I still think he's a decent player. He's a good player.
Ben?
I felt like he was missing in the first half, definitely. I do agree that he kind of grew back into the game. But yeah, I mean, before the match, I said to my mate Andy, he's a Tottenham fan who I was watching it with, and he doesn't really follow Brighton too much, because why would you if you don't support Brighton? And I was out, Georgie's one of our better players. He's probably going to have a good game today. And just went missing, which is quite disappointing for him, because you want your best players to be playing well in the biggest games of the calendar, but unfortunately he didn't turn up. And diving like that, it must just be so embarrassing. I mean, the best thing we got out of that was the meme of Georgie seeing the yellow card and going, like, the most French reaction I've ever seen in my life. But yeah, that must be so embarrassing. You see it go on the V8, you can see it on the big screen. He was looking up and saw it and was like, hanging his head in shame. And yeah, it must be quite hard to react and just dust that off yourself, because, like you said, Jack, he didn't kind of really react well.
I do think there is, like, I think there's this weird idea that I do think it's, I don't know whether it is like, and I saw a Brighton fan trying to say this, and I got what he's trying to say. I don't know whether it was 100% like a dive. It definitely wasn't a penalty, but I don't know whether he's actually thrown himself a more anticipated contact.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
A little bit. I don't think he's sort of thrown himself.
Stuck his leg out, didn't he? And then hoped for contact.
Yeah.
So he's initiated,
and it's a different kind of way of doing it. Yeah, so I don't think it's quite like, I'm not quite like, I mean, some people just go over the top with diving. I just wish they'd just grow up a bit. Like, just, when I used to play football back in the day, I used to dive. I used to do all sorts of horrible shit when I was playing centre half.
I agree, but I think now with the introduction of VAR, you just can't get away with it anymore.
Yeah, no, of course.
It's so,
of course you
it's
can't.
so hard to get away. Yeah, it's so like, even Veltman, like, for example, and we'll get onto the Veltman yellow because that was outrageous as well. But for example, like, Veltman's a great example because he does a few, little naughty little things here and there. But now with the introduction of VAR, it's like, you have to be really careful, because if that player goes down and makes a proper meal of it and says, ref, check that, you're in a world of trouble. And so yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It's a fine line with Georgie. Just quickly, Ben, before you go on, I just want to talk about Rutter just quickly because I actually thought we'd done all right today. Like in terms of his link-up play, I thought he had a few little nice touches. I remember there was a passage of play where we did like a really quick 1-2 between him and I think it was Welbeck, and he sort of just did a little flick around the corner. That was a nice little touch. But yeah, maybe just not consistent enough today. And obviously the dive, I think, sort of marred his performance, but I don't think he was too bad. And yeah, against Leeds he was great, and yeah, he's not been the Georgia we know of, but I think he'll grow into this season. I think he'll get better and better every game, fingers crossed. But Ben, go on, son, what were you going to say?
No, you mentioned being naughty. I mean, someone that was bang up for it today, as you can tell, was Jan-Paul van Hecke. I mean, I think he was trying to start a fight with everyone, probably trying to start a fight with his own mind at points. But there was one point when speaking about VAR trying to catch people out. There was one point in the first half. I think it might have been a corner or a long throw coming in, but he had Lacroix. Is it Lacroix, isn't it? Maxime Lacroix. Yeah. He had his shirt like pretty much the whole thing off of his shoulder, and then he had what was his name? Who was the man in the match? What's his name?
Canvo.
Yeah. Then he had Canvo's shirt as well in his other hand. And I was thinking, you're putting two shirts here in the box. It's just I just couldn't wrap my hand around it. I don't know if we got. Very, very, very risky. Like it was the most obvious shirt pull. Like
there was a lot of pulling
undershirt
in the box all game.
Yeah, but you could see his undershirt. I was like, that's so blatant. Like if the ref saw it, then it might be given. So I don't really know how he got away with it. But yeah, he was starting to fight with everyone. But it was working because it wound up quite a lot of the Palace players. I know that then when he had another little head-to-head with whatever we said his name was, then Mateta and everyone started jumping in and trying to shove him. Everyone that Van Hecke was winding up throughout the whole game just went for him. Sort of an opportunity, but that's what Van Hecke does, and we do like, and we need those players in our team because quite often we're labelled the nice team, but we do need these shithouses every once in a while. And hopefully, long may it continue.
We've got 4 yellows, and obviously Veltman. Let's quickly talk about the Veltman tackle just whilst it's fresh.
One for Fabian Hürzeler,
and one for Hürzeler as well. Yeah, I don't even know what he got that for, to be honest, but it must have been just him moaning.
No, I don't remember it happening either.
It was like the first 12 minutes.
Yeah. I think he was moaning on the sidelines. But let's talk about the Veltman challenge because he done a really good tackle, slid in, won the ball, and then Mitchell grabs him and puts him in a headlock, and then he wins the foul, Mitchell, and Veltman gets a yellow card. I was very bemused. What do we think of the referee's performance? Because again, a few people were moaning about the ref.
Shit.
What do we think?
Do you know? Genuinely, like. I think this particular referee, Tim Robinson, not to single him out, he's from West Sussex actually. Just interestingly, he's a Pompey fan, if anybody's wondering, so there's no bias in there, which kind of made sense because I thought he was complete shite for both teams today. Just odd decisions all over the place. You know, it seemed that every time that Palace went on the attack, he would give a foul, which I was quite happy about. Every Palace set play that came in, he would give a foul. And then
so when it
going
up
the other way, he just
you were happy with him, yeah?
Yeah, it was. But like from a neutral view, is genuinely, I think he got a lot wrong. And that Veltman fan, I mean, imagine if they'd scored from that, and they came very close to scoring from that. I think Jeremy Pino drive at the near post, didn't it? Good save from Verbruggen. But yeah, I think it was really irritating sort of foul to sort of give, especially in the 95th minute. I mean, that could have been so crucial. So I'm glad nothing came of it. And then, of course, we go straight up the other end. Babis goes on the counter-attack. He gets, in my opinion, from what I can see from the stand, I thought it was a foul. And then all of a sudden, didn't give it, not bothered at all. So, yeah, I thought his performance was quite shit just all round, really. And he killed the game. He really wasn't letting it flow. I remember thinking, halfway through the first half or towards the end of it, I remember going, this is almost like an American football game, because every time the attack is swapping over, they're blowing up and we're having this sort of defensive reshuffle. And I thought he really didn't let the game flow. And I think in a big game like Brighton Palace, I think they need to be giving that to a bigger, better ref. In my opinion. So, although the one thing he did, well, I suppose he didn't get it right, but the VAR got right was the penalty.
Yeah, finally.
I think they got
finally
the refs correct on that.
Finally, the referees have actually got a decision right in Stockley Park. So well done to them. Well done, lads.
When it's against us, when we want them.
Yeah, when it's against us, I know.
Yeah. Of all the days they decided to do their jobs, it was our decision. So that's really, really good. And then let's move on to the chances, because Verbruggen obviously made 2 huge saves. You just mentioned one, Jack, for the Pinot chance. And then the other chance was Sarr. Fantastic strike, to be fair to him. But an equally impressive save from Bart Verbrugge. Ben, he's
after Henderson made a good save as well, I think it was as well.
Yes, you bang on. Yeah. It was it was up and down the pitch, wasn't it?
That half could have easily have ended. We could have gone in that first half at 2-2, 1-0, 2-2 at that point. There was some big chances we missed. I mean, even Gomez is in the first half quite early on. Or anywhere else, and it's a goal. Michael Owen would say. What was the question, mate?
No, I was going to say, Bart Verbruggen, I can't even speak. Bart Verbruggen has actually been pretty decent recently. Like, I remember the Leeds game made a couple of key saves. Again today, 2 huge saves to get us a point. Very integral to the result today, I thought. So yeah, what do you think of Verbruggen? Because again, he's had his critics throughout the season, or part of last season as well. So yeah, what do you think of Bart Verbruggen? How important is it? Because again, there was chatter about, should we bring Rushworth back, and is he going to be our number 1 for the future? Is he going to leave? Is he going to go into better things? Lots of question marks around him.
No, yeah. Cheers, mate. Is your name Ben?
Yeah, no, sorry.
Well, Jack, obviously we will let you speak on it as well after. Go on, Ben. You start.
You'll get your 2 pence in. Don't you worry, Jack. I will start. I thought, Bart was very, very good. Once again, back-to-back clean sheets. He'll be one of the happiest boys going home on the team bus. I think if you asked us a few weeks ago, I think we were probably quite concerned how many goals we were going to ship at Selhurst Park. I remember a conversation with the podcast of saying, how many are we going to concede? But a clean sheet is fantastic. Back-to-back, who would have thought? It's only going to do great confidence, not only for Bart, but for the defence in front of them. They're going to have more confidence in who's in the goalkeeper behind them. So, win-win in my eyes. Hopefully, long may it continue. Who have we got next?
Brentford.
Oh, maybe not.
Absolutely reeks of a long throw goal, that
exactly, game. So 2 sheets are over, boys. We had 2. We got our 2 for the season.
We'll take that. Back to back.
But yeah.
Quite good.
No,
go on, Jack. Bart.
Yeah.
Bart.
I'm just itching to say something about Bart. No, I thought Bart was really, really good. I think, like you say, he's had his critics. He hasn't quite, I would say that he doesn't seem to prevent goals. Like, we don't seem to be, previous goalkeepers we've had who are literally like one-man walls who win us games. And it seemed recently he just wasn't being that guy who was changing games for us and winning us extra points. And I thought he's really, really good today and against Leeds. It's 2 clean sheets now. Like I said, it's a world of confidence for him. It's a really, really good saves. And I actually thought really good from set plays. Claiming everything that went into the box. He wasn't really giving them the opportunity to do that sort of stuff. So really good, and it'll bring confidence for the whole defence. And talking about who you'd award man of the match to, I think the whole defensive unit was really, really good, considering Mateta, as much as all the emphasis has been on Welbeck recently, Mateta's been scoring goals as well for Palace, and I thought he didn't really have a sniff today. I saw a very genuinely very weird comment on Twitter earlier, where I was just like, what a weird thing to say. And there was some Palace fan going on about how Mateta had Van Heck in his pocket. And I was like, well, it doesn't really make sense because he scored no goals. So that doesn't really mean he was pocketed, did it? Surely that means that Van Heck pocketed Mateta. And I wouldn't really say pocketed him. He just, both of him and Dunk, very astute. Yeah, dealt with him completely. And as well, I thought Dunk was really, really good as well, actually. I think that was one of his better performances. Very like the Dunk of old. Astute, did well. Yeah, so I was really impressed all round.
Just quickly to pick up on your Bart Verbruggen point as well. I now you mention it, yeah, him sort of being very commanding from especially those long throws was actually really nice to see, because that's one thing I've sort of felt like he's lacked, is that presence and that, like you said, being the commanding goalkeeper that you want behind you. I think that's one thing he's lacked really, is like being a really commanding presence. You don't really see him like shouting much. I'm not saying I want him to be like Pickford and just be an angry man and going absolutely berserk at his defence, but I think I just want to see a bit more of a presence from him. Like he's a very good shot stopper, but again, like, are you 100% faithful in him to like go and claim a cross, for example? Up until today, I probably wasn't, but then today he's actually showed me that he can be that guy. So fingers crossed, yeah, he carries that on. I just wanted to ask, boys, with Palace playing midweek in Europe, was this a bit of a missed opportunity for us? Because I think I read before the game, they're 4 out of the games after Europe this season, they've lost 3 and only won 1. And obviously playing on Thursday to Sunday, quick turnaround, only a couple of days. Ben, do you feel like it's a bit of a missed opportunity potentially with Palace maybe being a bit... And also they've got a very small squad, remember? So a lot of the same players playing Thursday, then playing Sunday, tired legs and all that. Would you agree with that?
It's an interesting point you raised, Maz. I feel like some of their players will absolutely bang up for it. That's right. Yeah, some of their players look absolutely bang up for it from the go. I mean, as you would do for this sort of match. But then again, players like Munoz maybe didn't look too up to it. I don't know if he played midweek. I don't really follow Palace. I don't really follow them in Europe either, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, a few of them did look a little bit unlike themselves. If you look at what you'd say Munoz was one of their best players, and he just was probably their worst performer of the game. But I don't know. But yeah, maybe it is a missed opportunity when you say how they did do following other games in Europe. So maybe yes, you might say yes because of that, but. They're always going to be bang up for it no matter what against us, no matter what day is. Even if it was the day after the game in Europe, they'll be bang up for it. Yes, they'll be a little bit more jaded, but I think the motivation to beat Brighton will hopefully would probably carry them through rather than being tired, if that makes sense. My brain's frazzled right now.
Yeah, I didn't understand a word. No, I'm joking. No, that was understanding a little bit. I did get what you're trying to say. Of course, it's a big occasion, isn't it? But Jack, go on. What are you going to say?
I was gonna say I was just having a little Wikipedia browse there, and the 2 games that they've of course lost after playing in Europe were actually not at home. They were quite tough games, so I don't know whether that is a stat that maybe needs to be looked into that much. Yeah. So the game that they lost first was against Everton away. They never beat Everton. Conceded in the last minute, so could have arguably got a point and a tough game away from home. And then the other game they lost after that was Arsenal when they were on, when they kept 5 clean sheets in a row. So I don't think that's really relevant. So I do think there is a little bit of a missed opportunity, and it's a very interesting point because I did think they look a bit shagged at some points, but also at the same time, I think at Selhurst Park they're a good team. They're a good team at Selhurst Park. And I do, considering what after the Arsenal game I sort of lost my head a bit at Herzler and, the world's going to end and we need to get rid of him. Well, I didn't say that. But, I said I wasn't sure whether the thing. And I actually think, you can't... Yeah, we were a bit boring today. But, I don't think you can put that emphasis. And, yeah, we didn't take up that opportunity. I actually just think it's a really good point. A really good point. Not many teams that go to Palace this season will not be will be yeah, I'm really pleased with the 0-0 there. So yeah, I think we've got to look at a lot more positives from this game than I think.
Yeah, it looked. I think had an identity for again, back to our games. It looked like we did have a style of play. I think it was build-up play was very, very good. On the counter was good. It was just the final third that let us down. That cutting edge to be able to finish really let us down today more than anything.
Yeah, and that's fine. I was going to say that, yeah, I think that's fine. I think we're not I was talking about this on the way back to Norwood Station as we sort of, as you get slowly escorted the whole way back, and we're having a chat saying it's a good point. I actually think it's going to be quite a hard season to break into the top 10. Maybe going a bit deeper than just this point, but I think, I looked at the top 8 teams, and it does almost seem like the top 6 is fixing itself. The top 6 is basically the top 6 now. The top 6 best teams in the country, what's traditionally seen as
the big 6.
So Yeah, and the only ones in there are Sunderland and Villa, and even Villa are sort of, they're top 6 adjacent almost, aren't they? So, yeah, I think it's sort of fixing itself a little bit. Some of these teams are moving back up to different positions. I think it's just going to be quite hard, and we've got to sort of dig away at points and kind of see where it sort of takes us. But, yeah, maybe I've cooled a bit, but I'd still be disappointed if we don't give it a real go, but yeah, I think that was a really good point.
I don't know.
I mean, we're only 3 points
of the table.
To be fair.
It's so tight. Yeah, it's so tight. I was just about to say, man. It's Sunderland in 4th place with 3 points off of them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
you'd be saying this is an unbelievable season if we had got that one win earlier than season, maybe against Everton. I don't know, one of the ones we would probably expect.
Fulham.
I was going to say Fulham, but we got
Wolves.
Yeah, but that would just been too. But yeah, those 2 points would have carried us. Looking at goal difference as well, we'd be looking to maybe to be above Villa right now. So it's like one result can really change a lot at the moment in the Premier League.
Yeah.
No, it's a very tight table. Yeah, just looking at the table, it's actually mad how tight it is. Well, if you exclude Arsenal and maybe Man City, it is super tight up there. 3 points separating 4th and 11th, which is insane. So it's going to be a good old season, very competitive season it looks like, and Liverpool are just doing terribly. I'm just seeing it's like my favourite Starburst pack, that is. Just lots of reds, which is pretty poor from them, but good for us. So boys, any other business, anything else that we want to talk about? Obviously a bit of a drab game, but as we all agree, I think it was a decent point, especially away to Palace. A very, very good point away. Some good performances as well from certain players. But anything else? Anyone want to mention anything else before we depart?
No, not really. I mean, it's quite a quick podcast considering it's our biggest game.
Well, they didn't give us much content, did they?
But
Did they? The little cheeky...
No, not really. I don't think again, it's one of these games where we just so do not lose. And I think we just need to improve a little bit up front. And I think injury numbers are sort of looking a little bit concerning with who we've got available. I think that's something that we need to worry about a little bit.
International break coming up, Jack. That could be a good time.
Yeah. It could be a good time to get people back. But I just feel like we're getting into this stage of the season again where people are getting injured and all over the place. And even some of our better, younger prospects are still injured as well. Like Harry Howe would have been bang on the bench today. And that could have been a great opportunity to see Harry Howe get on the pitch as well for us. So that was a real shame for that again. So, yeah, just a little bit. I think the international break, again, has come at quite a good time. We've gone into a little bit of form here. And we can hopefully carry that on after the international break. We've actually got a really good run. We've got Brentford at home. We're proving to be quite a good home side as well, which is interesting to see. And then we've got, Brentford, Nottingham Forest, Villa at home, West Ham at home. These are games where we could look to be picking up quite a few points. So, winnable games.
Just final thing before we go. It was actually a point. It was quite funny. Well, someone in our group chat that me and Ben are in, he basically said that he reckons, because if you look at historically our ties, especially at Selhurst Park, I think it was we had 5 1-all draws in a row. Then obviously they beat us 2-1 last season. Anyway, they've always been very, very tight games. And he said that basically because of our fake rivalry, which is how he describes it, that's the reason why it's so tight, because no one wants to lose, which I actually thought was quite an interesting point, because it does, obviously we had a few occasional 4-1s here and there, but usually it is a really tight affair, and it could play into it. Both sides don't want to lose so badly that it does maybe become a bit of a boring game in that respect. But yeah, just thought I'd mention that because it was quite interesting to hear that from
a very good point.
Neutral fan. Yeah.
I think it's funny, isn't it? Like rival games, like at all levels, they do they either tend to be crackers or the most boring game ever.
Yeah, there's no in between.
And there is no in between. Like I can think even down to much lower levels that I've watched. You see a rivalry between, I think it was, stuff like, I can't think of one on the top of my head. Like I think when I went to see Oldham Rochdale, they're both rivals. I went to watch that when I was at university, and it just ended 0-0, and it's just a really drab game. And I was sort of like, oh yeah, this is going to be Oldham Rochdale. There's going to be a big rivalry between two teams. You know, shit Northern Town A versus shit Northern Town B, and it just sort of fades out because people really don't want to lose, and that's almost the emphasis. And I think you've got to add a little bit of spice into the mix, like De Zerbi, who's just like, do you know what? I don't care about what goes on this season. I just want to win this game because I'm mental. And he was good for the rivalry, but you know he's gone now.
Yeah. I think, you're right. I think also the game sometimes do need something to inject it, whether it's the fans getting them up for it, or a big VAR decision, a big challenge, a big yellow card, a sending off, just like that spark you need to ignite it. And sadly, that did not come today. But boys, absolute pleasure as always.
It's all good though, boys. I've got one more point to make. I think I know what's going to propel us into first place in the Premier League. Any guesses?
Go on.
Super Mario Cozier Dewberry. We need to recall him in January. That man is an absolute weapon of mass destruction in League One at the moment.
For a player, Ben, before, by the way. Maybe since Pascal
Have you seen the goals he's scored?
Mate,
have you seen the goals?
Respectfully, he's doing it in League One, respectfully. Like, there's a big gap between League One and the Prem. And I'm happy for him. I want him to I want him to be scoring bangers. I'm very happy for him. But the fact you're trying to say, like, bring him back, he's still super young.
Bring him back.
He's playing in League One. Let's chill. Let's chill out of it.
He would have been happy off the bench today, wouldn't he?
Yeah, to be fair, if the injuries come on, we might need him back. We might need him back.
Fair point, Ben. Fair point. Bring him back. Get him back.
Thank you.
Yeah. Also, it's quite funny. I turned on the Strasbourg game. It was on like whatever channel Ligue 1 is on. And the first thing I turned on, just see NC having a scrap. It was just like,
class.
This is funny, isn't it? Yeah.
Barco plays midfield now, doesn't he? Barco's a centre.
No, I can't remember what happened. I think I turned it off after 5 minutes. Quite boring. I was like, not watching any of this shitty French league. I watch quality football like Isthmian Premier League.
Yeah, like Alfreton Town or something. Right, boys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And please like, comment, subscribe. And we will see you after the international break. Or actually, we might do a live in between that if we've got time. We'll do a live episode for Bants, for all effects. So peace out, A-Town down, and we'll see you next time.